Now, our next award is the Peel Bloodstock Trophy for Leading Novice Chaser, which has been kindly sponsored by Will Kinsey. Will, thank you very much. And of all the categories, this was the most difficult to draw down a shortlist, but we did get to 3 nominees, and they're absolute crackers this year. It's always good to see British bred chasers coming through. And the 3 nominees are Copperhead by Suleimani out of House Business, trained by Colin Tizard, owned by Jill Pritchard and bred with her late husband Richard by Jane Micklethwaite. Midnight Shadow by Midnight Legend out of Holy Smoke, trained by Sue Smith, owned by Ifka Clark and bred by Captain Archie Smith Maxwell. And Sam Spinner by Black Sam Bellamy out of Dawn Spinner, trained by Jed O'Keefe, owned by Karen and Paul Chapman, and bred by Wriggle Valley Thoroughbreds. And the winner of the Peel Bloodstock Trophy for Leading Novice Chaser is Copperhead. Copperhead, who was a brilliant winner of the Reynoldstown Novices Chase at Ascot and was one of the leading British trained novice chasers of any breeding, and by the late Yorton Farm-based stallion Suleimani, who enjoyed such a fine season. And I'm hoping I can connect now with Jane Micklethwaite, who bred Copperhead out of her mare House Business. House Business herself was a very smart mare trained by Charlie Mann, who was a black type winner by Josser Al Garoud. Jane, good evening and congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. It's a lovely trophy, and I'd very much like to thank the TBA for it. It's really very exciting indeed, and I'm extremely grateful.
Just tell me a little bit about how you came by the mare House Business.
Well, I wanted another mare, and I went to Doncaster Sales, having looked through the catalogue with the usual headings, achievements, breeding, and we went up there to have a look round. And there was one very good mare, I can't remember what her name was, and she went for a lot of money. And so we started looking at other mares, and House Business had far and away the best racing record of the lot. She'd won 8 races, including a listed hurdle. And I think they were thinking of running on the Welsh Grand National. She was tough, good mare. Anyway, but the extraordinary thing about the pedigree, that for a mare who was a definite stayer, the grandam was sober. And that intrigued me because I was a huge supporter of sober. And, you're always told not to bring in speed on a staying mare too much. You mustn't do extremes. But sober was so exceptional and so tough. She won 11 races, ran in practically every Group 1 sprint there ever was, in the Brie de la Bay, the King's Stand, everything. And she won the Stewards' Cup at Goodwood, which showed she was not only fast, but jolly brave too. And I was rather intrigued by that. And so that's what attracted me to her. And I liked the mare, I liked the look of the mare. And so we were sort of thinking about it. And David Futter was there, and I was talking to him, and he very kindly bid for me. And to our surprise, we got her for £5,000, which I think was the bargain of all time, really. All right, she'd never had a foal. We didn't know whether she could have a foal, whether she'd be a good mother. But for £5,000 to get a listed mare of that calibre was very lucky indeed.
It was fantastic, and Copperhead's been a wonderful, wonderful flag bearer for her. How exciting was his racing season for you? How much satisfaction did you take from it, watching on from afar?
Well, it was terrific because he went up the handicap so fast, didn't he? I mean, he started off as having won 2 handicap hurdles, nothing tremendously exciting. And then when he won the Reynoldstown, there wasn't actually another horse in the picture when he jumped the last fence, and he jumped the last fence as though it was the beginning. So it was hugely exciting. He's very lucky. He's got extremely nice owner, Jill Pritchard, and he's trained by Colin Tizard. And so, he's in very good hands with a very nice owner, and best of luck to them.
And am I right in thinking that things haven't been as straightforward as you might have liked after Copperhead?
Well, the mare, we got in foal, and she was back, and I was thinking how lucky I was, and wasn't it marvellous? And one day, a girl who was helping me over the weekend came rushing up and said that the mare was in terrible trouble in the field. Could I come as fast as possible? And where we are is very hilly, and she was right at the bottom of the field. We thought she got a form of colic. She was in obvious terrible pain and dripping with sweat. And I rang our very good local veterinary hospital, and they said, "You've got to get her up the hill. We'll meet you as fast as we can." So we pushed and pulled the poor dear up the hill, got her up. and the vet appeared, and thank God gave her huge painkillers. And she had some form of blood poisoning, and we've never discovered why. There was talk about sycamore seed, there was talk about acorns. We had a post-mortem. She had to be put down after 3 days. So she only ever had the one foal, which was copperhead.
So sad, but
yes,
so wonderful in many ways that he can be such a fitting legacy, and you can get so much pleasure out of him. Jane, well bred, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
Jane Micklethwaite, who bred Copperhead with her late husband, the son of Suleimani, who was a brilliant winner of the Reynoldstown.